Hi everyone. Today I'm going to share a few ways that you can use my new Aqua brushes. There are 10 in a pack, well 10 colors in a pack, so let's take them out and take a look. These Aqua brushes, if you see, they arrived with the tips up in the package. That's how they're hanging. And so in general, when you store them the tips up just like this. That way, the liquid and the ink inside, if you store them tips down, there's a chance they might leak out a little bit. So tips up is a good idea. Now I have my dotted practice pad here. So the first thing I'm just going to show you is you simply can use this brush tip as a brush for lettering. So the difference between this brush and the other brush pens is this is an actual bristle brush. Do you see that? How that is bristly and it's spreading? Okay, so because of that, it's going to function more like a paintbrush. I'll just zoom in. We'll take a close look at how this is going to work. So if you're practicing brush lettering, you can do drills with these just like you do with the other brushes you have, the brush pens that you have. The bristle brush will make sometimes a slightly uneven appearance, but it's still the way they are. It's just a different kind of a brush tip, right? So you can practice just how you practice your other brush lettering. It is very soft and flexible, so you do want to take your time and do lots of drills so you get a handle on how the brushes operate. But you can see here that I'm just basically, well, I'm not going very evenly in the lines. I'm just doing some drills to warm up, just like I would with my brush pen. And then what you can see how slowly I'm moving. So the second thing I want to mention, let's say if I'm writing a letter, or sorry, a word, do the word hi. I tend to write very slowly so you can see the beautiful flow of the ink from the Aqua brushes comes out very, very nicely. You can also, because of the tips, you can get super fine lines. That does take a lot of practice and control. So let me just try an oval like this. You can see how fine the lines get. And the second thing you can do if you are writing much faster, if you see in this A here, there's that white space. If you work more quickly with these brush pens, you can actually create a more distressed brush look, so it looks like a brush and less like an ink pen. And that's kind of fun. So you can, here, let me switch up the colors. So let's see what will show the most. I'll work with the blue because the darker will show you what I mean. So let's say I'm writing an alphabet and I want a very fun, distressed, edgy look. I can definitely do this, work quickly, and then you get this fun color brush effect, and it looks like you're using a paintbrush. So there's many different styles that you can do with this, and another thing you can do work with is you can actually layer the colors. So let's say I have the blue there, and now I'm going to layer on top this color, and I'm going to fill in the blues just like that. See how that you get a two-tone effect? So just like a paintbrush, you're going to paint with this. Just like that. Okay, now let's take a look at what else you can do with this brush. Here's a look at another way you can use the Aqua brushes. So you can actually use it as a dry brush and create a background, any kind of background, one color, many colors. So I'll just show you quickly how to do this. This is regular cardstock that I'm using. It's very smooth. You could also try it on regular paper. And so let's take a couple of colors. You want to think about your color combinations, what looks good together, and you know what? You just should experiment and play so that you can figure this out. So let's use, I'm going to use two of the lighter colors, the pink, and we'll use pink and yellow just like I did. So for the dry brush technique, you're just basically going to hold the pen like I am, and pushing the flat tip down, you're going to create this kind of a scribble effect, just like that. And you could leave it like that and just write a word, or you could add your second color. And you can see when these colors are layered, the pink and the yellow, you're going to get some orange in there, which is kind of cool, and make it as light and as dark as you like. So there you can create a background for your cards, for your home decor piece. And then I will take one of my black brush tip pens. Let's take the large one, and I'll just write the word art. And you can see the blacks go over top of the background beautifully. And you can get a very cute little motivational quote on here, or a single word, whatever you choose. Something that is really important to do with any kind of a brush marker you have, any kind of colors, even paints that you have, is to swatch them out. So that's simply, you know, taking the color, this is cardstock, putting the color down and writing the name of it. So this you can do, I recommend using a white paper. You could even use very watercolor paper. And you're going to play around to see how the colors respond and the ink responds to different types of papers as well. So that's really important to consider. How are your colors going to respond on, so this is cardstock, so I would make a cardstock one, I would make a regular copy paper one, and I would make a regular, a swatch for any kind of paper I was going to use. You can also use your brush lettering with the Aqua brushes and water. So I'm using the darker blue, the ocean, because the lighter blue might be too light with water, so you want to swatch it out. So I'm dipping the tip in, and then I'll just write the word water, and then it behaves like a very pretty watercolor water brush. Like this. So if you didn't add the water, you would have a darker, you saw that earlier, you would have a darker color. Like this. And then if I want that water to return, the color, the pigment to come back in the brush, I would just kind of wipe it onto my paper and get the water moving out of it, and then it will return to the darker color. So now that I have the darker color, so I'll just hold this up closely and you can have a better look at the very pretty watercolor effect you get with this brush. And now I have no water on it, and let us compare without the water, and I'll write the word dry. So you can see it's much more pigmented. It behaves not quite like a watercolor brush, but you still have that beautiful brush lettering look, like that. Of course, the fun thing to do with any brush pen is to blend. So I'm going to show you how to blend the Aqua brushes with water. I'm going to start out with the yellow, and I'm just touching it. You do not need a lot of color, water on your tip of your brush. And it'll be hard to see. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And then I'll just do the letter S, like for sunshine, with the water. I have quite a fair bit of water, just a little color going on. But you don't want to dunk the whole brush in there. And then I'm going to take my red, or this is called fire. I'm going to add a little bit here and then go back with my yellow and blend it in. Remember, this is watercolor paper. Carry that red through so it turns orange, and you can get different layering of colors here that makes it very, very pretty. I'll add some to the bottom here. You do not need much pigment, so not much color. And then you can carry this. I can even add a little bit of water to get that moving a bit more. But I'm initially starting out with some water and then adding the secondary color and the light pen, and then adding the second color on top. And you can see you can create some very, very pretty blended effects. Now let's try 3 colors and this technique. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, my blue, and let's do another S. I'm just putting the tip in like that, getting the water, making sure there's water in this letter. Don't want to wait too long. And then I will take another color. This is the turquoise, and I will add the turquoise in to the top like this, and the bottom. And then I'm going to add some purple as well in here. And then I will go back to my blue and blend them together. So you will use just the ink, you will also use a bit of water and create a very pretty blended effect with more than 2 colors. So you could actually do this technique with many, many other colors and create a very pretty blended effect. And because I let this sit too long, you can see it's not blending, so I'm going to bring that around, pick up my blue again, and get rid of those hard edges, and then blend it in so it's a little bit softer. There. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can play with your aqua brushes, be artistic, have some fun, and relax.